ago, I made a mistake. I didn't even know I had done anything wrong. I had written a sketch that had the word faggot in it.
The Comedy King strikes once more. Check out his latest hilarious remark for yourself.
Hey, if you do anything wrong in your life, and I find out about it, I'm gonna try to take everything away from you. And I don't care when I find out. Could be today, tomorrow, 15, 20 years from now. If I find out, you're fucking finished. Who's that? That's you.
Unveiling a fresh streaming show called The Visionary and making fiery appearances on digital platforms, the comedian has fiercely challenged progressive ideals, leaving the entertainment industry seething. What has liberal critics so outraged by his bold satire? He's beyond being silenced, and both he and the industry know it. That's what truly unnerves them.
Americans generally respect one another's beliefs, even if they don't share those beliefs. I know I do. I respect everybody's beliefs.
In a time when most people are walking on eggshells to avoid controversy, Chappelle charges forward, exposing the nonsense with his sharp humor. Honestly, that's precisely what we need today. The Visionary has caused an uproar among the progressive crowd, with critics labeling it inappropriate and crossing the line of decency.
That's why I don't be coming out doing comedy all the time, because y'all niggas is the worst motherfuckers I've ever tried to entertain in my fucking life.
That's exactly why fans adore him. He refuses to follow the script. Chappelle speaks his mind, even if it means mocking topics that woke culture holds dear. And it's nothing new. Remember the closer? He's been challenging these ideas for quite some time now.
I am not saying that to say that trans women aren't women. I am just saying that those pussies that they got, you know what I mean?
That show sparked real protests at Netflix's offices, with calls for removal. But neither Netflix nor Chappelle backed down.
I ain't doing trans jokes no more. You know what I'm gonna do tonight? Tonight, I'm doing all handicap jokes.
Now, with The Visionary, Chappelle pushes even harder, challenging woke culture with sharper humor. One of the most talked about moments is his joke about meeting Jim Carrey during the filming of Man on the Moon, which quickly went viral.
I wanted to meet Jim Carrey, and I had to pretend this nigga was Andy Kaufman all afternoon. And he was clearly Jim Carrey. I could look at him and I could see he was Jim Carrey. Anyway, I say all that to say, that's how trans people make me feel.
It begins fairly harmlessly with Chappelle describing how Jim Carrey remained in character as Andy Kaufman throughout filming, which felt strange. But then, Chappelle shifts the tone entirely, taking the joke in a completely unexpected direction.
Do you want to meet him? And I said, fuck, yes I do. And it was the first time I could remember since my father died being excited. And the movie was called Man on the Moon. I didn't know any of this. And in this movie, Jim Carrey was playing another comedian I admired, the late, great Andy Kaufman. Yes, and Jim Carrey was so immersed in that role that from the moment he woke up to the time he went to bed at night, he would live his life.
Chappelle then draws a comparison between his reaction to Carrey's method acting and his thoughts on transgender people. With perfect timing, he delivers the punchline saying, "That's exactly how trans people make me feel." And the audience erupted with laughter, applause, and cheers. As expected, the woke left was outraged, calling the joke offensive and demanding Netflix take action. But Chappelle isn't backing down, making it clear that no one will control his comedy. After all, isn't that what stand-up is about? And if that stirred up controversy, just wait. His LeBron James joke takes on the gender debate headfirst, in classic Chappelle style.
Say LeBron James changed his gender. You know what I mean? Okay, can he stay in the NBA, or, because he's a woman, does he have to go to the WNBA where he will score 840 points a game.
Chappelle asked what would happen if LeBron James transitioned. Would he stay in the NBA or play in the WNBA, where, as Chappelle joked, he'd easily score 840 points per game? The crowd burst into laughter. But, as always with Chappelle, it wasn't just for laughs. He was tackling the absurdity of the gender debate, highlighting how impractical these ideas are when applied to real-life scenarios. This is classic Chappelle, using comedy to expose contradictions everyone else is too scared to discuss. Unsurprisingly, this joke hit a nerve with the woke crowd. They quickly labeled it transphobic and renewed their calls for Chappelle's cancellation. But he's made it clear he won't be silenced.
I said what I said, and boy, I heard what you said. My God, how could I not?
Chappelle isn't seeking to please anyone. He's reflecting society back at us, allowing us to laugh at its absurdities. As if his stand-up wasn't enough, he recently joined the Joe Rogan Experience, and that episode detonated like a nuclear bomb in the woke community. Chappelle and Rogan, both of whom have faced cancellation, sat down together and launched a scathing critique of cancel culture, the madness of today's world, and woke ideology. Their conversation was a powerful reminder of the importance of free speech and the need to question the prevailing narratives in entertainment and society.
It's gonna feel like, well, was something wrong with me, or like?
Yeah, there's a lot of tone-deaf folks out there that didn't get that, are out there taking that photo in front of a private jet with a Gucci bag, smiling. Like, hey, this is not the time for that.
Yeah.
He discussed how woke organizations attempt to regulate comedy, pressuring comedians to conform to an approved narrative and say the right things.
They've canceled people that are more powerful than me.
Neither is Joe Rogan, and the two shared a laugh over the absurdity of the situation. Chappelle even confessed that he has declined numerous sponsorship opportunities, knowing companies will quickly withdraw their support if he says something controversial. For Chappelle, it's not about the money. It's about remaining authentic to his comedic voice and his right to express himself freely. Together, Chappelle and Rogan form a formidable alliance, embodying a rising movement of comedians and creators determined to resist the pressures of the woke mob. Their discussion on the Joe Rogan Experience served as a masterclass in combating cancel culture. It's not just these two standing up. UFC President Dana White has also voiced his support for Chappelle, publicly criticizing the woke mob for attempting to cancel one of comedy's all-time greats.
Lunatics trying to cancel them.
Yep.
Going after Chappelle, going after Rogan, going after all these different comedians who stood strong, stood their ground, and continued to do their art in which we need badly.
Dana White, known for not shying away from controversy, commended Chappelle for having the courage to voice what many are too afraid to express. He emphasized how uncommon it is for someone in Hollywood to confront the woke mob, highlighting the bravery required to persist amidst constant criticism. White also acknowledged Netflix for backing Chappelle during the uproar over The Closer, when protesters demanded its removal. Netflix stood firm, demonstrating genuine leadership in a climate where most companies would cave under pressure. This kind of unwavering support is essential in our current cancel culture climate. What makes it even more intriguing is Chappelle's consistent criticism of cancel culture, calling it out for what it truly is, a game designed to control and silence dissenting voices.
Brother.
But it was such a shitty article. It's just a poorly written knucklehead article.
It's again, like you say, no one can be woke enough. You know, I'm torn because I like a warrior for a good cause, but I'm really into tactics. You're not going to nag people into behaving
Right.
in a way that's, you know, in fact, if you continue with this tone, even if you're right, you'll be very hard to hear.
Chappelle is too prominent, fearless, and courageous to be muted. As long as there's woke culture to confront, you can count on Dave Chappelle to be at the forefront, delivering punchlines that leave the woke mob rattled. Share your thoughts in the comments. Are you on Team Chappelle? Do you believe he's justified in calling out the absurdities of woke culture? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more updates.